man, it's been like 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
So from the time that she was King Magazine and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I'll give you a dope little look into, I taught her how to rap.
Oh.
So when she was still modeling, she wasn't really feeling it, and she wanted to make a transition, and she wanted to fuck with music, and that's like unheard of. Like, people don't take video vixens, video models serious in the music world.
Right, because you've had Gloria Velez, you got Tahiri recently. Like you could even take it to like the porn chicks, like the Pinkies, the
Right.
Indias, the Heather Hunters.
It only goes but so far.
Right. It always seems to sort of flatline and decline.
I tell you what, it's hard enough just for girls who weren't none of that shit, who are dope. They go unheard of. So it's like you got this extra shit on your back. Like, they're gonna ridicule you for this forever. So that was the first thing. It was like, all right, how are we gonna digest this? Like, you have to actually learn every element of rhyme to get your respect, or you're just not gonna get respect, or any respect you get is gonna come from a butt or a pretty face. So, which is not really respect. So, how you wanna do it? And she just buckled down, bro. Like, I've never seen anyone learn something so fast. From a point of being aggravated, like, I would just be like, yo, you don't get it. You don't get it. She had no confidence, would look at the ground, I'm saying, yo, you model, like, you be on pictures modeling, how do you not have the same confidence? And then she started learning, and she started growing, and she started doing shows, and then, shit went bad, shit went good, the shit you need to learn.
Yeah.
Started
So
teaching her all the elements.
You start getting booed and stuff like that. And
Yeah. I mean, you get booed.
Yeah.
You get booed because they don't want to see you to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's not even like you get to win them over. I mean, you're getting booed and they don't even care what you're saying. It's like, get out of here. We don't want to see you. It's like automatic hate. So coming through all that, she had way more adversity than the average female. So she was just like so adamant on really wanting to buckle down. And she learned everything, bro. Like, having to go through so much adversity and being ridiculed publicly, internet, blogs, Twitter. It's like, that takes a toll on a person. And she just was like, you know what, man, I gotta get serious about this. Because back then I used to tell her, I would say, yo, you need to go get like an Adidas sweatsuit and like, like some old school like Cazals, and like just go and rap. Don't go get the mini skirt and the Louboutins and go do a show. Yeah. You already not gonna get no respect. People not gonna look at you and be like, go rap. Like, go really just rap. Stand in the gut of the stage, grab your own nuts, and rap.
Right.
She was like, she couldn't see that. Everything had to be like an outfit, or, she's getting something made.
Hair, makeup, yeah.
And I was like, yo, now it's like, she went on tour before me. She got signed with Taylor Gang, went on Wiz. Wiz is a huge artist. She's on tour. Man, she comes out and she's a whole nother person. She blacks out. She in the middle of the stage. She's like, and she got on sweatpants and J's. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look at what you had to go through to get back to where you should have started. And she just ended up dope. And she was pregnant on tour with my son, which meant my son went on a world tour before me. But I taught her how to rap, so I created the whole thing. And now she's so sufficient, I'm not even around. She's bringing me records and songs, and I'm like, you did this? Like, she is ill. She is ill. I guarantee you, when her CD comes out, you're gonna be like, whoa. We kicked it real strong for like a little over a year. Liking each other, all that, but nothing. Puppy love. And then after that, then it started getting like, it got real. You know what I'm saying? And then, since then, it's just been, you know.
I mean, the pregnancy, was that planned or did it just happen?
No, I wasn't playing. It just happened, and it was like, well, shit, let's go, let's do it. You know.
Right.
Let's get it.
Any plans on getting married?
We talk about that next interview, man. Nah, no, I mean, of course, you know, like, I feel like it's important to have a family, man. When you have a kid, the foundation of that child, I feel like you should break cycles. You know, anything you do, you should break cycles. And with the whole, you know, my son being born into a way more fortunate situation that I was in as a child, you know, it's just already a cycle broken. Coming from Baltimore, struggling, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, now he's born into, you know, you know.
Sure. Now, are you guys close to Wiz and Amber and their new baby? Because they're right around the same age, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Technically the same age, actually.
We talked about it, me and Wiz talked about it all the way up until delivery. Both of it. It's just like, he texts me, I'm like, uh-oh. And I text him, I'm like, look, you know, sending him pictures from the hospital. He's like, uh-oh, it's time. You know, it's like we would, you know. So, you know, the boys are going to be close. They're 2 weeks apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you know, like, when I heard her on the new Wiz Khalifa album, I did hear a little bit of Nicki Minaj in her flow. Would you agree with me, or you think I'm just, you know, have you heard that comparison before?
Early on, I heard that comparison.
Okay.
As of late, she's really coming to her own identity, and it's weird that we'll give the accolade to the person who's bigger, but dude, you know, I'm not trying to. Of course, I'm not trying to throw no shade. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, SB and them. You know, that's the homies too. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, we'll give that. Like I've had things that I've done, and people have pointed the finger at me and said, "You took that from Eminem. You took that from Nas." And I'm like, bro, if you only knew. I sat in my room alone and did this stuff because someone's bigger. A lot of times they get the accolade and the praise for something, and not, you know. So it's that way. You gotta keep creating, and you gotta stay away from things that are comparable. If it's like how you saying, then that's something that she has to look at and be like, you know what? Well, I don't even want to ever sound like this, so let me just go this way now.
Sure.
And that's what you got to keep reinventing yourself until you don't sound like. And that's what I was saying about myself. It took me 3-4 months to say, I have a bag that doesn't sound like nobody, because you got Meek, you got Chains, you got Sean, you got Wiz, you got Drake, you know what I'm saying? You got Push. I mean, you have all these dudes who are successful and doing good, and you trying to come up. And it's easy to fall into their bag and be like, oh, damn, I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because even the producers are so fickle. Like, these guys are like making beats that all sound like who's the hot guy. So your music sonically starts to come out sounding like the next dude. So you always have to reinvent that. And you know, it's because he got to see it face to face. It's because he's got to work with her. You know, I mean, it's all about being exposed. You know, whether good or bad. When shit gets exposed, then we get the information. We don't ever get first-hand stuff. We get all second-hand shit. Like you now, you getting first-hand shit. So the information you'll leave here with is way more healthier than any information a side person could tell you.
Right.
Wiz got to work with her. You know what I'm saying? Even me learning Wiz. You know, I wasn't really up on Wiz Khalifa. And then they came to Maryland. He did a show at the Meriwether Post Pavilion, which is a huge venue in Maryland for big artists, usually like rock bands and shit, because you know, the crowds that those guys bring are bigger than rap crowds. So, you know, we just kicking it, and he first took interest into her, so we were just kicking it with them. And you know, I'm backstage, you know, and Wiz is about to go out, so we just standing backstage, so I just peek out, and I just see this crowd. Now mind you, this guy's in my town.
Right.
I see this crowd, and it was so overwhelming that I had to ask the guy who was doing something on the stage, working there. I said, how many people was that? Like, it was so many people. I had to ask him how many people it was. And he said, 20,000 people. And I said, what? Our arena hosts like 15,000 people.
So he just
this
overflowed.
kid had it was an outside venue. So it's just like Woodstock. It's just like a lawn with endless people. And I said, wow, this guy is huge. And he had Sean, Crit, Mac Miller, you know, all those dudes was, you know, was opening up, you know, his show that he was heading, you know, and it was like, this kid got it. Like, wow. That was my first open up to the Wiz world. Like, it's crazy. So that motivated me. I was like, oh, I'm about to get it. I'm about to super get it. Like, this is possible. And he didn't, you know, he didn't do a lot of radio and he was like the underground kid, you know? So I was like, oh, this is my wave. I can get it. I can get it.
Last time I checked, Cat Williams is either going to end up dead or living forever. And those two choices are fine. The real question is, if he were to die, would anyone care?
And it makes him seem like one of the greatest philosophers of the world because his pen told you this years ago. He wrote what's happening nowadays. He's seen it. So it puts him on a level of a spirit or a god.